What's up, family? Welcome back to episode number 18 of PJ's Take. This is part 3 of the Proverbs reading challenge. And if you don't know what that is, Proverbs has 31 chapters and there's 31 days of the month. So whatever day it is of the month, you will correlate that to the proverb. So this was from September 3rd. So it's Proverbs 3. And in particular, more specifically, Proverbs 3:5-8, KJV. And it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not to thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones." So if we break this down a little bit, if we break it down, to trust in the Lord. Well, having trust is having complete faith in someone or complete faith in something and believing in their ability to fulfill their promises. And if we dig down a little deeper, Numbers 23:19 says that God is not a man that he shall lie. So we can trust in the Lord because his promises always come to pass. God keeps his promises. He's not a liar. And also his timing is perfect. Our timing is not perfect, but the Lord's timing is perfect. The creator of the heavens and the earth, his timing and his ways are perfect. Our timing and our ways are not perfect because we want things now. But he might say no, or he might say yes, but you have to wait to teach us a lesson or something like that, which is why we need to walk by faith and not by sight, not just by the things that we see, but walk by faith, which is also our currency. And then the verse also says, with all thine heart, lean not to thine own understanding. So this is saying don't have partial faith. This is saying don't try to do things first and then give it to God. Because if you just try to handle life's situations, life's challenges on your own, and then going to God, you're basically saying, God, you're just a last resort. Like, I don't actually trust you. But nah, we need to trust him and have faith and believe in him with all of our heart, 100%, not 50%, not 70%, not even 99.9%. All of it, and give it all to God. And then it says, acknowledge the Lord in all thy ways, and he shall direct our paths. So when it says acknowledge the Lord in all of our ways include things like what we say, what we do, where we go, how we handle ourselves, how we conduct ourselves, how we speak, how we talk, how we handle adversity. And then especially like the things that we do when we think that really nobody is watching us. Because that's when some people's true colors really show. But that's just a few examples of acknowledging the Lord in all of our ways. Because if we acknowledge the Lord while we do all those different things, if we're acknowledging the Lord, then he's going to direct our paths. And God's path for us is always better. It's 10 out of 10 times better than the wrong path that we thought was best for us. Like the Lord's path for us, like I was saying a couple minutes ago, or like a minute or two ago, his ways are perfect and his timing is perfect, which is why we need to walk by faith and not by sight. Like path A might look good, but like it could end to like, if you're driving down path A and you don't know it, it could end to like a cliff and you can pummel to your death. But path B might look bad at first, but like God might have us on that path to teach us a lesson. So the second part of this verse was 7 and 8. And it says, be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. So to fear the Lord is to hate evil. To fear the Lord is to turn away from those sins, to turn away from those worldly pleasures. To truly fear the Lord, yes, is to depart from sin that we've been comfortable in for years. And we have a bad habit, especially a lot of us in church, we have a bad habit of comparing our sins to other people's sins. Like, it's all equal in God's eyes. A lot of us are really being hypocrites in that sense. God doesn't want us living like that. Oh, my sin is not as bad as their sin, so that's not the right way to look at things. But to truly fear the Lord is to hate evil, is to turn from sin. Why? Sin is temporary pleasure. Sin is temporary pleasure that leads to an eternity of hell. And no, that's not like a popular thing to say, but sin is just a temporary pleasure that leads to an eternity of hell. Why would you want that? Why? What does it profit somebody to gain all the riches and have all the luxuries and do all these things, but then it leads to destruction? It's not worth it. We don't have to go through that, because what Jesus did on the cross, because he went to that cross and then he rose, we can have freedom, we can have eternal pleasure in heaven because of only what Jesus did, not because of anything that we did. But we got to accept it. He's not going to force us to accept it. And then the last part, it says, it should be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. So what this is telling us is fearing the Lord and departing from evil, following God's wisdom and guidance will bring us not only spiritual well-being, but it will also bring us physical well-being. Fearing the Lord and departing from evil and living for Jesus is not only good for our spirit, man, but it is also good for our physical body too. It's a win-win-win-win. Like, there's no L's. You might lose some friends. You might lose people who don't want to live that lifestyle too, but it's worth it. What does it profit you to gain all this stuff but to lose your soul? It's worth it. So at the end of the day, living for Jesus is good for us in all aspects of our life. And with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. This was part 3 of the 31-day Proverbs reading challenge. And you can find this on all platforms at PJS_take. And I'll see y'all next time for part 4. So peace and bless up.